Hi, good to talk to you all again. Today I'm going to just talk to you very quickly about contemporaneous documentation. Under the budget 2021, our finance minister has now introduced in the bill, and the bill has already passed the policy stage, so it's very likely to become an act in January. One of the key areas, and one of these is going to be a contentious area, which is going to affect all of you, is now it is compulsory for you to prepare TP documentation on an annual basis. Because if there is a failure to prepare contemporaneous documentation, there will be penalties imposed on you. If you go to court on conviction, there will be between 20 to 100,000 or an imprisonment up to 6 months. If there is no prosecution and the DG compounds it, then it will be a fine of between 20 to 100,000 if you do not have contemporaneous transfer pricing documentation. You can appeal, of course, to the special commissioners on the penalties. Now the question is, what is contemporaneous document? Contemporaneous documentation should be prepared at the time the transaction is undertaken, or at the latest before you file your tax returns, which is, if, for example, 31st December 2020, if you talk about the year end, it will be filed by, say, 31st of August. So your TP documentation, contemporaneous documentation, must be done and it must be ready. So whenever you do not need to submit it to the tax authorities when you file your tax returns, but you will need to have it ready whenever the tax authorities come. And within 30 days, you must submit the documentation. If you do not do it, then there will be this fine. And the next question is, will I be fined for every year if you fail? For example, transfer pricing can be for 7 years. They can go back. And for 7 years, if you haven't done the documentation and if you fail, the penalty will be 7 times that amount. It can be between 140,000 to 700,000 at this point in time. Secondly, if you do ask for an extension of time, does it mean that actually there will be no penalty imposed? At the moment, we are not certain. So asking for an extension of time, you may still be subject to penalty. So you've got to be careful. The last thing is, you've got to actually record your transaction on a contemporaneous basis. That is, you must do it. If now no longer it's feasible to go to prepare documentation 7 years later or 5 years later, it is best you prepare it on a yearly basis so that it is contemporaneous. That is what it is about, being contemporaneous. That's it.